Hi, I'm Rick DePiro with the Roland Corporation. Today I'd like to show you a little bit about the latest member of our Atelier family, the AT100. Music Atelier offers a lot of different things, and a couple of the new features on this great instrument are, first of all, the beautiful cabinet, the sound quality, which is amazing, and most importantly, at least to me, the ease of operation. If you play an organ, the last thing you need to do is have to deal with pressing buttons all the time instead of concentrating on what's most important, which is playing music. So using Atelier makes the experience a wonderful and easy experience. We want you to play music, and that's what this video is really about. So to start that off, we're going to take a file. Actually, the song is Amazing Grace, which I hope you're familiar with. I'm going to have you listen to it with me, and I'm going to show you how to load the song and play it. So let's do that first. The first button I need you to press is the song button, which is to the left of the panel on the bottom side. And after that, I need you to look up to the upper part of the panel, and there's a LCD screen. Next to the LCD screen are two value buttons. They're gray in color. Press the value button, and then look to the right of the screen, and there's a button that says Load. What you'll see in the screen is you're loading the starter song folder. If you touch Load, it loads in Amazing Grace. So now, in order to play the song, just go to the lower part of the panel once more, and there's a white button to the left side that says Play or Stop. If you press play, along with me, then we can listen to Amazing Grace. So let's do that now. What a great sounding file. Now, to stop the song, just press stop. If you'd like to listen to it again before we start playing, simply go to the left of the play button and you'll see a button that says reset. Press reset and then press play one more time and you can listen to Amazing Grace again. And of course, when it's through, just press stop one more time. Now my guess is you'd like to play along with Amazing Grace. At least if that were me, that's what I'd like to do. So let me show you how to set up the right sounds so that when you play along with the file of Amazing Grace, the sounds you're playing match the music file perfectly. If you go to the lower part of the panel, you'll see a button below the word composer that says registration. The proper sounds for your song are going to be under the registration category. So press the registration button. Next, if you go up to the right of the screen, there's that load button that you pushed before to load the song. If you would, push the load button again, and that's going to call up the registration numbers. I'd like you to press registration 1, and that will give you the registration for Amazing Grace. What this calls up when we push the 1 button is a flute sound. That's going to be the first sound we use for the beginning of the song. Traditionally, organs have two manuals, an upper manual and a lower manual, along with a pedal board. The upper manual is usually for your right hand or the melody of the song, and the lower manual is for the chords. Now for Amazing Grace, we're only going to play the melody of the song, so we're going to use the upper manual and our right hand. Let me show you the keyboard to show you where the notes correspond with the letters of the alphabet. When you look at the alphabet or recite the alphabet, it starts with A. Well, the notes on the keyboard are no different. The only difference here is that they only go up to G and then repeat themselves again. If you look at the Atelier keyboards, both manuals or keyboards start with C, which is considered the most basic or common of all notes. Amazing Grace is going to start in the middle of the upper manual on the note G. Let me show you this. Now we're going to talk about notes and position. We just got done speaking of the fact that every note has a corresponding name, and if you look at the upper manual or lower manual of the Music Atelier, you'll notice that there are only 7 different names for all the notes on the instrument when you go from the beginning to the end with all white keys. If we start with the alphabet and start with the letter A, which is here, we will go up and it will start again at A once we get past G. So again, there's only 7 different names for these keys: A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. And it starts again at A. For Amazing Grace, we're going to use one small range for the entire song. We're going to start the song on G with our thumb, and the highest this song will go is G 1 octave above. So the same note, G and G, just 1 octave apart. An octave is 8 notes. If you look at the guide that comes with the Atelier, the starter song guide, on the left-hand side is pictured a keyboard with the names written on each key. So you can learn what the corresponding notes look like and what their names are. Additionally, if you look at the sheet music, Amazing Grace has written in it every single name of every note. So when you look at the notes, the names of the notes are written right inside the notes to help you play the song. It couldn't be much easier than that. I'm now going to play the music file that you heard before and play the right hand to correspond with it. Here's Amazing Grace, and now you can follow along and actually see which notes I'm playing and try to name the notes as I play them. Now, in order to play any song properly, there's a section of music theory that's called fingering. What this allows you to do is, considering the fact that we only have 5 fingers and there's a lot more keys on the Atelier than 5, it makes sure that your hand doesn't get stuck in the middle of a song, not being able to move forward or backward because you've run out of fingers. So proper technique in playing an instrument allows you to put the right finger on the right note so you're never lost or confused. The fingers that we use in order are 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Your thumb being 1 on both hands, and your little finger or pinky being 5. When you look at a piece of music, you'll notice that the numbers on the top of the music, if it is written for fingering, will correspond with the proper finger to use. Now, please watch my hand on the upper manual, and we'll use the proper fingers to play Amazing Grace. Now, on the song starter guide that you get with your Music Atelier, when you're looking at the music for Amazing Grace, you'll notice to the left of that, there's a category called finger numbers. We just spoke of that in the last chapter, and what we spoke of was that your hands are positioned so that your thumb is always finger number 1, your index finger is 2, and then 3, 4, 5. The reason fingering is important is because when you're playing a song, you never want to get in a position where you're stuck not being able to comfortably go to the next note. What fingering does is it always puts your hands back in position, particularly your right hand, so that you're always comfortably able to go through the song and never in a position where you're stuck not being able to move forward. For example, in this song, Amazing Grace starts on finger number 1, your thumb, on G. The next finger is finger number 3 on C. As you go through the song, you'll notice what this does is allows you to play the rest of the first couple of measures very comfortably without moving your hand too frequently. If you go to measure 11, which is on the second line of the song, there is an F chord at the top of the measure, and you'll notice the note that we need to play is a C followed by an A and then a G. The C is played with finger number 1, and then what we have to do is what's called a crossover. Your index finger has to cross over your thumb to go to the A, like this. And then your thumb again on G. What this does is this gets your hand back in position to play the rest of the song without having to feel like you're stuck not being able to move forward comfortably. So you're going to play C with your thumb, A with your index finger, and then cross under to G with your thumb again. This allows you to always feel comfortable in playing whatever song you're playing. Once you play a few songs with fingering, you'll start to understand that your playing style and your ability becomes a much more comfortable and enjoyable experience. Now, we've already played a song from the song file. We've played Amazing Grace. You've learned how to set up a registration. We've talked about the different manuals on the Music Atelier, even spoke of things like fingering. So the last step in order to play the song would be the timing or the length of notes. That's a very important part of each song, because if you don't play each note at the proper length, it won't sound like the composer intended it or like you know the song to sound. If you've ever heard a waltz rhythm, someone being able to count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, the reason they keep counting up to 3 and starting over is called a measure. Instead of counting to 700 by the end of a song, music keeps the number of beats or notes simple so that we can refer to different measures in the middle of the song. It's easier to learn it, it's easier to play it, it's easier to keep track of it. Now, when you hear 1, 2, 3, oh, and by the way, Amazing Grace happens to be a waltz tempo, or a song that you'd count to 3 and then start again. In a 3 or 4 beat measure, like this song, we're going to count to 3 and then start again. But not every note has the same length. Some notes are called eighth notes. They get a half beat. Some are called quarter notes. They get 1 beat, which would be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Some notes are called half notes. They get 2 beats apiece. And then finally, the largest of all would be the whole note, and that gets 4 beats. There won't be any whole notes in this song because there's only 3 beats maximum in each measure. So again, we're going to count to 3 and then start over again. For every note that has a half beat, it's an eighth note. 1 beat is a quarter note. 2 beats is a half note. Another great feature on the Music Atelier is Arranger. In case you don't want to play it along with a music file, you can make your own arrangement up just by choosing one of the many different orchestrations or rhythm styles built into the AT100, and then play along with the music you have. In this case, we're going to do one thing in addition to that. We're going to change the right hand or upper manual sounds partway through the song so that it gives us a different sound for the chorus than for the verse. What I'm going to do is touch number 1 and then play this sound. And then in measure 9, where the chorus comes in, I'm going to touch button number 2, give me a different registration for this sound. So, here we go. Now, did you notice at the end that beautiful ending happened without me playing anything? There's an intro and ending button on Atelier as well. So at the end of the song, instead of worrying how to end your song, you just touch ending and you can sit back and relax. Another great feature of Music Atelier is Harmony Intelligence. If I look just to the left of the upper manual, there's a Harmony Intelligence button located just above the screen. It's white in color, and if you'll turn it on along with me pushing the one on my instrument, suddenly you'll find that there's harmony added to the melody of the song. By playing one finger, it's the equivalent of having 3 or 4 other musicians join in with you. It gives you a much richer, fuller sound. It's a lot of fun to use. In addition to that, I'm going to touch the introduction or intro button, which is right next to start and stop on the lower part of the instrument. That'll give us a professional introduction to lead us into the song, and then of course at the end I'll touch that same button, which also says ending, to lead us out of the song. Now, the 2 registration buttons I'll be using are 3 and 4. This time we're going to use a full string orchestra with one finger, and then a full orchestra with one finger, and you'll hear the entire piece all played with full harmony just by using one finger in the right hand and one in the left. Another great feature of the AT100, the new Music Atelier, is the addition of harmonic tone bars. In the past, harmonic tone bar organs have added an awful lot to the history of the electronic organ, and now they're present on the AT100. I'm going to play Amazing Grace one more time, and we're going to use the harmonic tone bars. In the middle of the song, at measure 9, where we did change sounds before, we're going to change sounds again. But this time, we're going to do it by moving the tone bars so that the sound changes within the tone bar setting itself. One other thing is that if you look to the left of the lower manual, there's a button called Rotary Sound, and below it, a button that says Fast and Slow. In the past, or in harmonic tone bar organs, there was traditionally a speaker attached to the instrument that had a rotary speaker inside it that went faster or slower to add to the effect and dimension of the sound. This is now present electronically in the AT100. I'm also going to add the intro and ending like we did before as well. So, here we go. Okay, I'd like to first of all thank you for joining me for this short DVD presentation of the brand new AT100 Music Atelier. I hope by now you're playing Amazing Grace and starting to enjoy this fantastic instrument. On behalf of the Roland Corporation and myself, we'd like to say thank you for being part of our family. And for the last part of the DVD, what I'm going to do is play 3 short selections, one with the arranger and 1-finger chords, the second with chords and still using the arranger, and the third one I'm going to turn off the arranger, just use the rhythm section, and then use the harmonic tone bars to play it just as a traditional organ. Have a great day, and again, on behalf of Roland, thank you.